Hi everyone, my name is Rahil Mohsin. I'm a comic book artist, self-publisher, your coffee addict, and yeah, all-around awkward guy. With me, I have George Mathen, aka Appupen. How I met George was, I think, in the year 2012. We met at Comic Con, and Blaft had Moonward, and I was blown away with the artwork at that time, and still am. So, what are you working on right now?
So, Bluft came out with Moonward. Moonward was in 2009.
Okay.
2008, I'd finished the work, and we were trying to get it published. Up and down with Bluft a few times. Bluft helped a lot in cutting down the text, which was really important for me as a comic artist also to know that the ideas are coming through. We sometimes explain too much. We sometimes write what is quite obvious to the reader. So on principle, I don't think that what we show in visuals should be written again. That's quite Bollywood.
Yeah.
So Blaft pointed out where all I was doing that kind of stuff. So that became like a sort of confidence that people are getting it. So you don't have to explain it too much. I think that led to Legends of Halahala, which was that complete freedom from text and knowing that you can just tell stories with only images. I got contacted by Harper. So we were talking, and I checked with Blaft also. They suggested that it's better that I go with Harper at that point because they weren't going to come out with anything for some time. During that time, they had a baby and all that.
Harper or
Not
Bluff?
Harper. Harper cannot have a baby because Harper and Collins are both men. The Harper thing happened nicely, but I wasn't really happy with the production. So Legends of Halahala I think it it got received quite nicely. It was like the first book that came out without any text at all. So the reliance on the reader is a lot more. Uh, we are we are telling the reader to make his own story in his head. So at that point, I wasn't really sure whether that's a selling idea because you have this reduced attention span and people not willing to delve into any idea or article or anything too much. Like you like it in a very bubblegummy way, presented to you. Again, we go back to Bollywood, like the mainstream way, where you're not
Yeah.
expected to think anything. Here is your entertainment. Take it, be happy, and then forget about it afterwards. Here we are actually pointing things where that might disturb your thinking, disturb your bubble, and I think that's the whole point of it. But to leave that to the reader, you can always stop reading it and say that I'm not making this story. It's just I'll just trip on the pictures or something and get by with it. So Harper, primarily Kartika, uh, has been very supportive, and they help me come out with the work like the way I want it. Uh, they don't want to get in and edit the story or change anything in there. They leave it to me, which is also another boost of that confidence.
That's great.
Like suddenly, like you know that the work will come out as you do it. Nothing will be changed. So I had some production hassles with their production team as such, but others with the editorial part of the team, I had a really nice rapport. So Legends happened, and it was touted as India's first graphic novel, silent by Malu, Christian from Kottayam, with a
Did they
beard.
actually use those words?
But it's a very like contrived stand to say that India's first silent graphic novel now. After all this funny stuff has happened in India's first graphic novel itself. So it's not something that you want to really like go with, but. Anyway, that's how that came. Then I had already. I like to work on two projects at the same time most of the time.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
Me
So
too.
like
Yeah.
when one gets a little tiring or boring, you move to the other one, develop
Yeah.
some things over there. It's a nicer way to balance it, I think. What are you working on?
Currently I'm working on a graphic novel and then a series, but
You mentioned
yeah.
graphic novel. I'm gonna go back to Asperus. So I was working on Asperus on the other side.
Right.
Asperus started with a story that was actually taken out of Moonward. So it was edited out of Moonward by Bluft, saying that this feels like a totally different thing. And yes, it's true because at Moonward time, I was just trying to throw everything I had into that one book. So there were too many ideas. There are too many ideas in Moonward anyway. So this other idea grew. It was very nice. It's about this dream and where the dream comes from, and it's actually a response to my advertising time, which was I spent a year of advertising in 2000,
Okay.
2001. So it's a the question mostly is who put that dream in your head. It's not really you're following a dream. Everyone likes to say that we're following our dream, like
Was this the one I remember attending one of your lit fests, and where you were a guest speaker, and you had shared these slides very vividly. I remember that you had shared these slides of how an idea is put into somebody's mind, and then it grows, and then you build a wall around it. Is it from Asparis?
Yeah,
Asparis?
that's pretty much the thought from there.
Okay.
I don't know the wall whether how it comes into the same thing, but they build a city for the dream. That's what it's saying. So yeah, so where do these thoughts come from?
Yeah.
And like what are the influences that bring that thought alive in our head? And from being from advertising, I know how we work to get that dream in your head. How you feel incomplete without that dream that I'm selling. So this was the question because like people in the most boring like stupid jobs also like to say that we're following our dream. Like when you're how like it's a dream, like go free and dream. At least in your dream, like have a colorful dream, like don't have this black and white gray dream and then go and like say this is your dream life, like so Asperus, it was more of that dialogue, and there are nice parts in it in the beginning, which I have to go back to now. Like one of the projects you asked what I'm doing now. One of the projects is basically the beginning part of Asperus is there, where this little figure goes out onto a beach. You see him in a fishbowl first, and then as you zoom in, he's dreaming and he wakes up, and it's no longer a fishbowl; it's an ocean. And he swims out of the ocean and he surfaces on a beach and he goes and sits. So this is my uh, depiction of that inner being, of your inner part, who is very fragile, very tender and pure. So the call is to recognize that fellow inside, to identify with that person and do not forget that this tender part is there inside, because as we go today we wear many layers of like protection armor to face the real world.
Yeah.
And most of the time we become that shell and we are forgetting that fragile being inside, and that being sometimes is trapped inside the shell and doesn't know like how to like connect with the outside world also, which is probably how I see us getting so numb to things. Like we have all kinds of things happening around us, but we can choose to like not see it. So it's one of the ideas I'm working on now.
Okay.
The other is a series of Rashtraman books. So Rashtraman, I want to remind people of old comics and what comics used to be like, and not prohibitively expensive like graphic novels are becoming now. And I want to point out that a lot of that cost is because of the distributor, the retailer, or the publisher, and all these things. And it's not like the creator is charging so much. Most of the time, I get that look like my book is like 699 rupees or 799 rupees. Oh, like that.
Yeah, I've
It's
had my
not.
share of
Yeah, it's not
experiences.
me at all. So here is a book for 200 bucks for all you face makers. Like you can buy the book, and that's why I publish it myself. So that will continue. So that's on one side, and the Dimension 8 stories will be on another side. That's what I'm primarily working on now. I'm working on a book of illustrations for Bluff, like doing illustrations for a book.
So that's how you actually started off with self-publishing. This need to actually break the whole concept of middlemen and so to speak, like uh, try to break this whole idea behind graphic novels being expensive.
See, it's the publishing model is not going to work.
Okay.
With 8% royalty or something that or 10% that the creator gets,
Yeah.
you're not going to make anything happen. It is okay if the publisher is pushing it and trying to develop the scene. They're not trying to develop the scene. They're just trying to get the benefit from the existing scene.
Okay.
So what we as creators, maybe the scene will develop after my lifetime, but it's not going to help me.
Of
So
course.
what I need to do is do as much to develop the scene now, and this price, like I said, is holding the scene back.
Hmm.
Availability. It's not like if I'm published, I'm available at every nook and corner or every store. There are two stores in Bangalore that might keep the book, even after being published. So where is the advantage of the big publisher and the distributor and the retailer and all?
Hmm.
Now we have online sales. If we can get that niche happening, then I think as much or more will move online. Like most of the time, it's like you haven't been to Landmark, so you haven't like seen the book.
Yeah.
So it's not an ideal way if that's all we have to like sell from. So one, we have these festivals like Indie Comics Fest and things. I hope more like that will come.
Yeah, I
Then
hope
it's a
so
way
too.
to get it through. Also, it's still stuck in the cities. There are as many comic fans outside the cities, like back in Kerala and all there are. So, if we can get the idea to them, that is nice. And the retail business is not going to do that for you
Hmm.
because they will also only concentrate in the cities and all that. So basically, we need to reinvent that system, that distribution part. If we crack, I think independent comics and artists have a life forward. Otherwise, it's arranged in such a way that whichever way you go, the artist dies.
Yeah.
If you print it yourself also, you have your barriers. And now I'm discovering like how, or I'm figuring out how I can sell if I'm not on Amazon or if I'm not with any publisher as such. And I want to do away with this extra margin business and try and give the books cheap and make sure that the money goes to the creator.
Hmm.
So the creator is alive and free to make more work, which is probably what the scene needs. More creators who are free to do their work, and then they will create. Without anything to go for, you can't expect the creators also to like keep creating just like that.
Right.
So if you just if you just lay it out on a thing on a plane, it just doesn't work. It is not a model that works. It's very clear to see. So before like breaking our heads on like how to make more stuff or something, we need to crack this, make it a surviving model. Only then, we can actually invite other people to the scene. How can I invite somebody knowing that this is a sinking ship? So we need to get sort that out. I think that's the most important task for like the indie comics people now.
Yeah.
So I hope like more people come for sure, and I hope more people read, and slowly the scene has to organically build. There's no
Exactly.
like roundabout way or like shortcut way to like build it. So I think it will take time. Also, like if all the new people who are coming into comics, if they can get maybe some business people, business-minded people into this and have them understand the sensitivity of independent comics. So you don't want to like blow the lid of the market and like be the biggest thing or anything.
Yeah.
Just figure out in this small scene how it can work. All the business models are such that you have to keep growing every year exponentially. That is not a sustainable model here.
Hmm.
So if we can find a sustainable model, somebody who's like willing to not be so greedy, but wait till the scene develops and help the scene also, that'd be nice. Because right now it's a bunch of artists trying to like make it,
Yeah.
and we could do with some business help or something. Some people who
Yeah.
know.
I know of a business person.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I think we'll talk to that business person
Yeah.
soon. Now that
Yeah.
we put it on the roll, like yeah,
I hope you're watching this, man.
cool.
So yeah, man, it was amazing having you here,
No, you
and
are here at my place. Thank you.
yeah, thanks for the coffee and thanks for the interview. And let's break the internet. Let's break the indie comic scene. Let's create more opportunities for people once we figure the whole distribution model out. We're going to do this together. Yeah.